Hello, everybody. I'm delighted to be back here again on stage this year. And now I have this new hat. So since a couple of weeks, I'm the new digital champion for the German government. And to be honest, I had to Google what this new role might be. And so now I'm kind of learning what it is. And I could maybe describe it as being an ambassador and kind of translating between the digital agenda of Germany and the European Union and vice versa. So kind of debating about what is there on the digital agenda and what should there be. So it's quite interesting to have this new role. And of course, we are discussing a lot what might be the new normal in the digital society. And what does this mean? And what kind of political frameworks do we have to embrace the new normal and to make it a kind of successful project? So what I want to show you is 4 examples of this new normal, what I would think what the new normal should be and will be. So first of all, it is getting all citizens online. This is one of the aims on the European level, of course, and we all would support this. So this would mean everybody has the right to have access to content, to apps, and to services of their choice everywhere. You might have heard that the German government now has kind of ambitious aims. They said that there is this broadband access initiative that in 2018, everybody in Germany should be online having 50 megabits per second of high-speed internet. So that's a number. That's really a good direction, and we have to follow this, of course, on European level too. But this is just the basic technical infrastructure. That doesn't mean that everybody is online. So the really pressing question is, how do people know what to do with this access? So how can they really then be part of the digital society? So one of the examples that I really like, and this is an example from my research, is the Seniors Computer Club. They are located in a neighborhood just kind of 500 meters away from here on the Fisher Island. And this is the guys from the Seniors Computer Club. And they are a voluntary, self-organized initiative with neighbors between 60 and 85. And they teach each other how to participate in the networked society. And they are really cool and smart guys. And you might remember when Angela Merkel was talking about the internet being Neuland for Germany, so for the kind of new unknown territory for German politicians. I was talking to one of the guys, he was actually 85, and he said all this Neuland stuff, that's just not true. You know, Angela Merkel should come over, I will teach her and I will talk to her and show her this so-called Neuland and give her access to the internet. So this kind of initiative and engagement, this kind of spirit is really what we need when it comes to engaging in the digital society. And this is what I mean when I talk about giving access to everybody and to all the kind of people. So we should learn from these examples like the Seniors Computer Club. You might get along there in this neighborhood, Fisher Island, and you might meet some of the Seniors Computers Club guys. My second statement on the new normal is talking about the open internet. So we know that we have to protect the open internet, and there were many discussions already also on this conference about what this means. So we know that the open internet is in danger. This is for sure. And we know all about the debates on net neutrality and about the last developments on European level that Neelie Kroes was very much and vividly fighting for the net neutrality on European level. And I support this very much, and I'm really fond of Neelie Kroes. She's a really cool, smart lady, 72, and very, enthusiastic about the open internet. We also all are aware that the NSA scandal very much in Germany destroyed much of our dreams of free communication, of sharing of knowledge. So this kind of whole dreamland internet was kind of destroyed by the discussion on the NSA practices. So how do we cope with this facts that many people lost trust in the open internet and in online services? So this is one thing that we really have to face. So this is also the new normal, that these kind of dreams were destroyed. And so we have to very much protect consumer rights, so giving force back to the consumers and users of the internet. So transparency should be the new normal in the internet and in the connected society. And that would mean that every user should have the right to know what happens with his or her data online at all times. So this should be a standard kind of default setting, that you know what's happening with your data. So a kind of data policy on this level is really, it's high time for this kind of policy framework. So, and we just can manage this by participation. People should participate. We should get all the people involved and get everybody hooked up on the kind of sharing ideas. And I guess that we would all agree, participation is a good thing itself, but the really kind of interesting question is how? So how do we get people on board, and how do we overcome the digital divide? So this is really an unsolved problem still, and I have a really kind of tough question when we think about the digital divide. If we go to extremes and we think about people who are deaf-blind, so how could we get people who are deaf and blind online? Is this possible? And there was a project that Tom Beeling, one of my PhD students at the University of the Arts, he engaged with deaf-blind people and thought, could you get them online? And we had a participatory design workshop together with them and just learned, how do they communicate? They use a kind of finger alphabet to communicate to each other, but that's far from being online at all. That's, really touching each other's hands. And so they came up together with a first prototype of the so-called mobile alarm glove. And there was a handmade thing with kind of vibration motors on it and tactile sensors. And that is a very easy first prototype, using Bluetooth to connect to a smartphone or any kind of tablet PC, for example. And I will show you how this one is working.
People who are deafblind do not have many people to talk to. Communication with the outside world is difficult and is often hardly possible. A common way of communication used by deafblind people is the tactile hand-touch alphabet called LORM, in which characters are assigned to a certain area of the hand. Therefore, conversation partners have to be familiar with LORM, and physical contact is necessary. These preconditions often lead to social isolation of the deafblind and to a dependence on people relaying information around them. At the Design Research Lab in Berlin, we are developing the mobile LORM glove, a communication device which translates the German LORM alphabet into digital text and vice versa. Pressure-sensitive fabric enables the deafblind user to compose text messages that are transmitted to the receiver's phone or computer. Small vibrating motors located on the back of the glove allow the wearer to perceive incoming messages via vibrotactile feedback. A Bluetooth module manages the data transmission between the glove and the smartphone of the user. When communicating with a deafblind person, touching the other's hand is no longer the only way to do so. Messages can be sent over distance to other LORM gloves or to mobile phones. Messages can also be sent from mobile phones to gloves. This enables people to talk to more than one person at the same time. The mobile LORM glove empowers deafblind people to engage with a broader spectrum of people and gain access to a broader range of information, thus enhancing their independence.
So that's the mobile alarm glove. You can follow it. You can follow the mobile alarm glove on Twitter. So, of course, they are online, and we are working on an integrated version. Time is running, so just my fourth kind of hypothesis, and this is the last message. Is it working now? Maybe I'm stopped now, huh? I have 10 minutes, and now I cannot go further. Maybe that's it. So my last message is that coding is fun. So we have to teach our children at school how to code. So they should, at early age, really learn that the internet is not just about consuming, but it's about programming. It's about designing, and that boys and girls as well are able to code, and that it is fun. And if you might doubt, if you think about the teachers that teach your children at school and they might not be able to switch on the projector, maybe we should turn it around and that the school children should teach the teachers how to code and that it is fun. So if they just, that's coding is fun, join the European Code Week in October. That's a very good European initiative. It's for people and school children to learn how to code, so that's a nice thing. And let's jump to the summary. This is just an example of how coding is done today. So interactive textiles working together with a smartphone, and the app is programmed, of course, by this lady herself, so very maker style. And you have to have a specific gesture to call an emergency for stroke patients, for example. So interactive textiles are very easily handmade and hand-coded. So that's one of the examples here. And so the last slide is the summary. Oh, it's a bit tough with this thing, huh? It's a bit analog. Well, if it doesn't work, embrace the new normal and make sure that you include everybody. The challenge is not to address only the digital elite, but have, inclusive design processes, participatory design processes, and learn from those tiny little best practice examples like the Seniors Computer Club. So they are really interesting, nice example. Embrace the new normal and give all the chance to participate. Thanks.
Thank you so much. And it's really a delight to know that Nelly Kroes gets advised by somebody who's actually making things, who is not a policy thinker, but a maker, and therefore can see other things. Now, Nelly is our hero. She's a very strong policy lady. But what can we do? Well, what can the people here do?
I think we have to really much more engage into political discussions. I totally understand that it's not fun all the time, and it's sometimes boring, and you often think, what are they doing there? Are they doing anything at all? But that's, why they have to learn from us. What is the vision of technological future of the digital society? So we really have to lift our voices and say, there it goes. This is our future, and this is what we need. So really, be tough and discuss with those guys, and I try to do this.
What's the biggest thing on the table at the European Commission where people think, okay, this is something we should or should not do? I mean, there are things where it's not completely obvious what should happen. What is the biggest thing that you are now thinking about?
I think net neutrality is a very big issue. So we've got the US vision on it. So they are, I don't know whether net neutrality
very
will
different
be
from the
the
European
standard.
vision, for sure.
That's it. So this is very much, we have to fight on the European level for this is the new normal. So it's the open internet, that's the one thing. And on the European level, digital jobs are very much a future model. So if we think about unemployment, youth unemployment in southern European countries, digital job and working might be one of the paths out of youth unemployment.
In the sense of really remote working.
Yeah, very much. Okay. And getting the skills. You're going to have good curricula at the universities and at the schools to really be skilled to be a digital worker and then to really engage into the society and find a job. So, challenges.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.